Reekz boxing. Before I start, I'm exhausted. I didn't even realize this fight was in Vegas, or I would have set my alarm a bit later. I thought it was in New York for some reason. So I got up like an hour and a half earlier than I should have. I'm feeling it now. Um, Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comments on your thoughts of the fight. Okay, so Canelo Alvarez, Danny Jacobs. Got a bit of a cold as well still. It's a good fight, man. I really enjoyed it. Canelo was so sharp, so composed, always in control. Opening round, I was kind of I was surprised Jacobs started so slow. I think, like, as he said in the post-fight interview, that he found it hard to get Canelo's rhythm for like 3 rounds, but he almost didn't do anything for 3 rounds. It was like he was literally just waiting, just collecting data, but he wasn't really doing anything with it. He was just giving away the early rounds. And before I continue, Sky Sports, get Carl Frock off the panel or commentating. Oh, mate, he's terrible at times. What's funny as well is that he likes to argue no matter what's happened. Like, could you imagine, like, being one of his mates or like his partner or his child? Like, like, imagine him in the delivery room. Oh, Carl, you've had a girl. Nah, I know what you're saying, but I believe that it's a boy. But Carl, it's a girl. No, it's definitely a boy. It's subjective, you know what I mean? We're out here in Vegas, the delivery room lighting's a bit crazy. I don't know, it's funny, because I think after that first round, he's like, yeah, I gave it to Jacobs. And you're like, how did he give that round to Jacobs? And then Cordor come out and was like, nah, that round's definitely Canelo's, like. And then, obviously, it's subjective. I do have to remember, they are sitting in one spot at one side of the ring, so that's the view they're getting. But the three of them that are commentating, they've all got the same view, so it's not like one's on that side of the ring, one's on that side of the ring. It makes no sense. He started well, Canelo, though. That jab was so sharp. And I was disappointed in Jacobs. I thought, you're the taller, bigger, rangier man. I thought he'd have been popping that jab in his face. But it was like he was so concerned with what would come back. And I said that in my prediction video that I thought Alvarez would stay in fight distance and look to slip the jab and counter. And he didn't really have to do that, because Jacobs was literally just pouring his jab out, pouring it. He wasn't locking his arm out. He was so concerned with what was coming back that it's like he didn't want to overcommit and get countered. Yeah, so the consensus is that. So I look a bit rough. Yeah, the consensus is from everyone ringside, apart from Frock, that Canelo practically took the first 6 rounds. It was just controlled boxing, great work down to the body. Yeah, it was good, man. As you say, it was a high level fight. Like, if you appreciate actual boxing, and they're not just in it for, well, everyone loves a knockout, but some people don't. I think that's also why as well. Like, even at the end of the fight, you got like Frock saying that, we've come here for knockouts, we've come here for this. Like, he was a boxer that, his defense was pretty poor. Like, he had a great chin, and he was always there for a tear-up. So, naturally, fighters appreciate what they were good at or the way that they like to fight. So, I guess that's why he was probably disappointed in the fight overall. But yeah, it was just, there wasn't much to say. There isn't much, like, highlights to talk about. It was just good boxing. Canelo controlling it with a jab through the first half of the fight, countering well to the body. He threw where he was backing. That was another thing. He backed up Jacobs for like the first like 6-7 rounds, and it was kind of like, why have you got all that weight for? Although I did say again in my prediction, I thought Jacobs would be wise to box on the back foot, let Canelo overreach and counter, but he just wasn't countering. I expected Canelo to jump in with that jab and a quick blah, blah, combination. It was like every time he would throw a combination, you could see it coming, and then Canelo would just slip it. Like, he needed to... There was no surprise element to his work. It was just... Everything was just laboured at one pace all the way through. Obviously, in the later rounds, Canelo's going to start slowing down. Jacobs going to have to start stepping forward. Disappointed his coach didn't urge him forward before the 6th round, because it's like you've just given away the first half of the fight. You're going to need a knockdown, unless you're hoping for a draw, really. Yeah, the only times he really had success is when he managed to back Canelo up to the ropes and then throw a combination, even though it wasn't landed, but it looks good, you know, crowd see it. The judge just got his back to him, may think that the punches are landing. Maybe even one on the other side, if he's in this corner, they can't really see what's actually going on from the angle, so they may think, oh, he's landed quite a few, but no, it was beautiful boxing from Canelo. He got caught with a big left hand from Jacob's southpaw stance in the 9th round. I think he's thrown like jab, thrown a right hand, hasn't brought his hand back to the chin, and it's a quick counter left, hit him hard, and they both continued to throw a combination within, and yeah, he didn't look rattled at the end. He said it was a good hard shot, he took it, carried on. Like, as I said, they've both been hit harder. They both fought Golovkin, so there was no doubt this was going to be the hardest punch that they've taken today. But yeah, Jacobs did seem to, even though he came on in the later rounds, he did seem to slow right in the middle from that bodywork, and it seemed like just everything he was doing was forced. He was so tense. I feel like just Canelo's aura, the way he started the fight, everything it just got to him. For him to say he thinks that like he won, all right, it was close, because those later rounds where he started to nick it, he nicked it on work rate, not on punches landed. So yeah, it was alright. Like, I enjoyed the fight. High level boxing match, high level chess match. Would hope that Jacobs would have taken more risks, like when he fought Golovkin, but as you say, styles make fights. Golovkin's there to be hit. Canelo wasn't. And when I spoke in my prediction about the issues they both had with their common opponent, Golovkin, was they both couldn't get away from the jab. And I said that this fight, they won't have that issue of a jab constantly in their face. Every time they took a break to reset, there was no jab. Whereas when they fought Golovkin, as soon as they stepped out, he's leaning in with a jab. He's walking down jab, jab, jab. And that's why I gave Golovkin the Jacobs fight, and I gave him the first Canelo fight. And why the second Canelo fight was very close, because the jab. But yeah, it was a good fight all round. Canelo said after he wants to fight Andrade, who was there. He holds the WBO title. That would be a very good fight. Slick southpaw Andrade, tall, rangy as well. That'd be a really good fight to see how he works with that, because Jacobs had his best success as a southpaw in the fight. So obviously Golovkin was ringside, got a little boo from the crowd when they saw him. Obviously pro-Mexican crowd, Cinco de Mayo. He's got a fight coming up soon. See how he looks after his layoff. New trainer. Yeah. Didn't manage to see any of the undercard. I think Hero Herrera, he got dropped by someone, which was quite sad, because he's been a long-time warrior. Yeah, so that's it. Great victory for Canelo. Onwards, upwards. I'm glad he didn't get cut. I thought he'd get cut, because that cut he's got over his left eye, it's opened up in the last couple of fights. well, obviously not the last one, but against Golovkin, it's big cut. So I think obviously it's healed up well. Obviously there wasn't enough jabs, there wasn't enough landing on him for it to open up. So yeah, Jacobs put on all that weight, paid a big fine, but just didn't use it in my opinion. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, man, on to the next one. Viva la Mexico! Mexico! Yo, Mexico. Thanks for watching the video, Reekz Boxing. If you enjoyed the video, just give it a little like down there, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Just subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what you'd like to see us talk about, what sort of videos you may like to see. We get it cracking.